Have you ever heard the phrase, "What goes up must come down"? It's a classic for a reason, but back in the mid-2000s, it felt like Miami real estate had found a way to defy gravity. The city was electric, the skyline was a forest of cranes, and everyone from taxi drivers to seasoned investors was convinced that Miami property was a one-way ticket to riches. The belief wasn't just that prices would rise. It was that they would always rise forever and ever. Amen. This wasn't just optimism, it was an article of faith. This powerful belief, this illusion of infinite growth, became the engine of a financial locomotive that was heading straight for a cliff. How did so many smart people get it so wrong? Let's break down the psychology and the shaky financial structures that propped up this house of cards. Imagine walking through downtown Miami back then. On every corner, a new luxury tower was shooting up, shimmering with glass and promising ocean views. Developers were celebrities, and real estate was the only conversation in town. People were buying condos not to live in, but to flip. They'd put down a 10% deposit on a pre-construction unit and sell it for a massive profit before the building was even finished. It seemed like free money. Why? Because everyone believed the price would be higher tomorrow. This shared belief created its own reality, a self-fulfilling prophecy where demand, fueled by speculation, constantly pushed prices upward. It was a classic speculative bubble, but when you're inside it, it doesn't feel like a bubble. It feels like a brilliant new era of permanent prosperity. This is where the banks came in and where the story takes a critical turn. Normally, a bank lends money based on what an asset is worth today. If you want a mortgage for a $500,000 house, the bank appraises it, confirms it's worth $500,000, and then lends you the money. It's a system based on tangible, present-day value. But in the Miami bubble, the rules got creative. Banks started lending not against actual value, but against projected future value. They were essentially lending against optimism. This shift was subtle, but it was like replacing the steel beams of a skyscraper with sticks of dynamite. The entire financial structure became incredibly unstable, all while looking impressive from the outside. Let's look at a concrete example to see how this worked in practice. Picture a developer, let's call him Mr. Vision. He has a prime piece of land and a blueprint for a stunning 50-story condo tower. The foundation is poured and maybe a few floors are framed, but it's mostly a construction site. Mr. Vision goes to a bank and says, "Look at this project." When it's complete, with all the marble lobbies and rooftop pools, this tower will be worth $100 million. Now, in a normal world, the bank would say, "That's great, but right now it's a hole in the ground worth maybe $20 million. We can lend you a percentage of that, but this wasn't the normal world. This was bubble world." Instead, the bank, caught up in the same frenzy, would say, $100 million. You say? Sounds about right, and they would proceed to lend the developer, say, 80% of that future value. So, Mr. Vision walks out with an $80 million loan for a project that, in its current state, was worth only a fraction of that. The loan was secured by the real asset, the half-finished building, but by a collective dream of what it could be. The bank was betting on the future, the developer was betting on the future. And every small-time flipper buying a unit was betting on the future. The collateral standards that are supposed to be the bedrock of safe lending had effectively been rewritten around wishful thinking. This practice created a dangerous feedback loop. The easy money from the banks allowed developers to build more and more towers, which flooded the market with new supply. This should have pushed prices down, but it didn't at first. Why? Because the continuous flow of credit and the belief in ever-rising prices meant there were always new buyers, or rather, speculators, ready to snap up the properties. Each new record-breaking sale was seen as proof that the theory was right, which encouraged banks to lend even more aggressively. It was a cycle of build, lend, buy, flip that seemed unstoppable. Developers used their massive loans to start even more projects, leveraging one dream to finance the next. The problem, of course, is that markets are tied to reality. And the reality was that the number of people who could actually afford to live in these multi-million-dollar condos was finite. The market was almost entirely propped up by investors who had no intention of ever moving in. They were just passing the properties to the next person in line, like a game of hot potato. But what happens when the music stops? What happens when a few investors decide to cash out, or when interest rates tick up just a little bit, making those loans more expensive? Suddenly, people start to get nervous. The endless supply of new buyers starts to dry up. This is precisely what happened. The moment the market stalled, the illusion shattered. That developer, Mr. Vision, with his half-finished tower, he now has an $80 million loan to pay back, but his project is no longer worth $100 million when completed. In fact, with no buyers, it's just a $20 million concrete skeleton. He can't sell the units, so he can't repay the loan. He defaults. Now the bank is stuck with a toxic asset, a half-built tower that nobody wants. Multiply this scenario by hundreds of projects across the city, and you see how the entire system imploded. The banks, which had rewritten their rules based on optimism, were now facing catastrophic losses. The collateral, the property meant to secure the loan, wasn't just worth less than they thought. In some cases, it was worth less than the raw land it was built on. The optimism that had fueled the boom now became the source of the bust. It's a powerful lesson in how collective belief, especially in finance, can create its own temporary reality. The Miami skyline is a testament to both the incredible power of human ambition and the devastating consequences of ignoring fundamental principles. The illusion of infinite growth is just that, an illusion. And when it breaks, the fallout can reshape a city and a global economy. The ghost of that optimism still haunts the financial world today, a stark reminder that gravity always wins. Thanks for sticking with me through that deep dive. It's a fascinating and cautionary tale, isn't it? If you found this interesting and want to learn more about the forces that shape our world, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We've got plenty more stories like this to tell. See you in the next video.